everybody. I am Carnage.
I'm Slice.
And we are coming hot into the box, and we have a very special guest on today. Belle Air Bomber from Roller Rag magazine and a former Boston roller derby player, if I am not mistaken.
That is true. That is true. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Part two. We did record with Belle back in I think October or November, and when we went to go release the episode, the audio was lost to oblivion, and so this is take two, and we are so excited that Belle has made the time for us today, and we get to spread the good word about Roller Rag magazine.
Good word. Have you read the good word?
Have you read the good word about Roller Rag magazine? We're not a cult. It's not a cult.
Not a cult.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, but there's no central leader. That's what we all say.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, Belle, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? What kind of got you to this point with putting out Roller Rag magazine?
Sure. So I started skating really late in life. I was 39, and a league started out in central Massachusetts called CMRD, Central Mass Roller Derby, and I was an editor. Actually, I was running Worcester Mag, which is an alt-weekly newspaper, and I did a story on roller derby because I had no idea what it was. And to do the story, I became fresh meat, and for 3 months, I learned how to skate and learned how to play. Put that in quotes, learned how to play. Had no clue what I was getting into, but really fell in love and quickly discovered that I enjoyed pushing myself and skating and learning a new sport, having never played a sport in my entire life, having never do any exercise. Like I did nothing. And it really changed the way that I looked at myself and my level of activity. Fast forward to graduating from fresh meat, sort of kind of playing with CMRD. It was a bunch of really new skaters going to a Boston Derby Dames skate event and realizing, holy crap, that's roller derby, and totally fell in love. And it was completely different than what I had really imagined. And it was so much more intense and incredible. And back then, Boston was like super like lights and drama, and it was just this whole attraction, like a circus. And it was like, I need to do this. So I drove into Boston for an hour each way, sometimes 2 hours each way in traffic, and became fresh meat for them. And fast forward, ended up getting it, and was the oldest Boston Derby Dame at the time to make it onto a team, and just fell in love with it. Got on the executive board, was PR chair, helped found the Junior Derby, was co-captain of a team at one point, several teams, from B Party to the Nutcrackers, which I'll always be a Nutcracker. Got on Masker one year. Like, it was just transformed my life, and fell in love with skating. So fast forward to now, I retired after almost 10 years playing roller derby. It really did a number on my body, and the last bone to break was literally a bone. I spiral fractured my leg in several places, and that's what sort of made me feel like maybe I won't do this anymore.
But
I got into
fractures, man, they
brutal.
Really cement retirement.
And I at the time, I was sort of contemplating maybe it was time for me to retire. And when my husband came to the ER room, he had originally thought that I was there with another skater, because I'm normally the one that's like, I'll hold your leg together or whatever, and we'll ride the ambulance together. So when someone was like, Bob, Belle's in the hospital, he just assumed I was with someone else. And a couple hours go by, and I'm like, why is he not here? And why is he not, like, calling me? And I called him, and he was like, when are you coming home? I'm like, dude, I'm the one in the hospital. I'm broken. He was like, what? So by the time he showed up at the hospital, I just remember him ripping apart the curtain, and he was like, can you just fucking retire? Can you just do it? And I was like, all right, fine. But then I couldn't let go
Oh,
of skating, so I kept skating. I rink skated. I became a huge fan of park skating. I have a half pipe in my barn, so skating has just been part of my life since then, and I just can't let it go.
yeah.
Your husband has to be like at least a little bit like a cheerleader for your skating because he's the one who built your
My
half
ramp,
pipe, right?
right? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he had a love-hate relationship with me and skating. Probably still does. But here's a cute story. Well, he'll kill me for telling this. When I first got teamed, in my first game, so my number is 1957, and my name is Belle Air Bomber because I had a 1957 Chevy Belle Air station wagon, and that was our baby. My kids drove around in it. My youngest came home from the hospital in it. So my first game, he ran out and he got a tattoo of the number 57 on his arm where your derby number would be, and that was kind of amazing. And yeah,
Aww.
he's got the bar and ramp. He took all that space that he could use for his cars and he gave it to me. And mostly because he knows I love it, but I do struggle with some anxiety and I don't really like trying new things in front of strangers. I'm kind of a big baby and my fear level is really high. So he was like, I'm just going to make you a ramp, like if this is what you want to do. So, especially when Rye Airfield closed in New Hampshire, and that's where I was going, and I loved it there. So we sort of found a ramp radius that I enjoyed, and he built it for me in my barn. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great when your partners are so supportive, even if they're not happy about all
Yeah,
aspects of what you do. But the fact that they remain vigilantly supportive is it's rare.
Yeah. Oh, we got lucky because
Yeah.
both of our partners are supportive. They're very good derby widows.
Yeah, but I had a similar interaction with my husband because I just over a year ago, like a year and 2 weeks ago, I had my second knee surgery. And like a couple months ago, I was like, I think I'm not going to coach. I think I'm going to go play next season. And Slice just happened to be in the room when that conversation took place because I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. And he just got really quiet and he was like, I don't want to be that husband that tells you no. Like, I don't want to be that partner that says no, but like, if you choose to do this again, I will not go to any of your games because I
yeah,
cannot watch you potentially get hurt. And I'm
it
like,
hurts.
ooh, that stings.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable to be
It
there.
was.
I
you
was
were like,
like grasping the chair, like I don't want to be here. Like, could I make myself smaller? Like, I was like, please stop it.
I know, and it was, I totally didn't think it would go that way. I thought he'd just be like, I'm not happy about this, you're ridiculous, but like, I figured he thought it was going to be coming anyway out of my
yeah,
mouth, but then it was just like,
right.
oh, I misjudged this.
That
It's
was a
tough. It's tough.
miscalculation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I feel like it just goes to show how much your partners like really care about you because like
yeah.
you have your partner like ripping open the thing like please quit, please stop
right.
doing this to yourself, and like
Yeah,
her partner
and it,
just be like please stop hurting yourself, like they
right,
care, they
right.
care, but they also care about your passions.
Right.
So like what a conflicting place to be. I'm glad that's not me.
Right, right, right. Yeah. And I mean, I understood where he was coming from. I'm the mother of four kids, so it was really hard to, have to like prep dinner, do everything, and then take off and go into Boston. And I was going like 6 days a week, and two of my children played junior derby, so that was kind of cool. I got to roll them into it, but there was a point where all the kids were like, I'm not going to your game, and just kind of like,
Yeah.
can't you just be home? So it's nice to have a
Yeah.
space at my house now, and that people come here to skate, which is kind of fun too.
Yeah. So what did kind of bring you to ramp skating after Derby? Because for me, like ramp skating is a little bit safer, but like you also do fall and you're still on wheels.
Right, 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 right. And you still get hurt, which I
And
have
you still get
gotten
hurt.
pretty severely hurt. Park skating too. I know. I seem
Yeah.
like a glutton for punishment, don't I? Um, how did I get into park skating? I think I missed skating so much, and I missed sort of pushing myself. And like rink skating is great, but you're obviously not like doing anything crazy and pushing yourself. And there was a place, Rye Airfield, that was in Rye, New Hampshire, and a lot of my friends were going. And so I went and just sort of fell in love with exploring on skates, realizing that I have a really strong foundation in roller skating, and I could apply it to some things that I never thought I could. Like, never thought I'd be able to reach coping, never thought I'd be able to 180 off. And became super addicted to, I'm going to try to push myself and just practice and practice. I also missed, like roller derby, you go to practice and you work hard on your skills and you get a tiny bit better. I was really missing that in my life.
Yeah.
So Rye
Yeah.
was the place to go. And I don't do anything crazy. I don't, cartwheel or anything, but I can do a few foundational things that I'm still surprised about. Like, I can't believe I do that. And it's so much fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a risk. It's still a risk. And I did have a pretty severe brain injury that sucked and knocked me out for a long, long time. So even though that has set me back, I still love it.
Yeah. Did you get that injury while ramp skating or park skating?
I was park skating in North Carolina with a friend, and I was showing her how to skate in a bowl, giving some lessons. I still love to coach. And there was a kid there that day. He was young, he was a skateboarder. And normally, if a skateboarder accidentally comes towards you, they just get to run right off. This kid was snaking everybody, like just dropping in, not really paying attention, just doing his own thing. And I just remember being in the bowl, looked up, and I saw him start to come in. And part of my brain was like, "You've got to be kidding me right now." And instead of jumping off his board, he grabbed my head and he took my head with him and he just went down. And so he just
Oh
panicked and
my
took off
God.
after that. And I was out. My watch was going off. Like, when you fall, it has an alarm. So my watch is going off. My eyes are open, my friend Diesel says. And she's like, oh, oh my God, Belle, where are you right now? And I was like, I have no idea. And I barely knew her name. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know where I was. It was just crazy. And I could tell something was wrong. Like, it just felt like there was like blood coming out of my head, but nothing was there. So we went to the ER and I had a brain bleed. Thank God I had a helmet. When I see people
Yeah.
skating without helmets now, I'm just like, you have no idea. I had a helmet on, and for 3 months, I could barely do anything but puke. And it's like, people just don't realize how important helmets are. And yeah, I don't look
Oh,
very sexy when I skate, but at least I'm fucking safe.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh,
I get so
there's
angry.
I am
Oh,
always
right.
a big advocate for helmets, like no matter how much you, because you get one hit. Because I used to work with people with brain injuries, and I'm like, no, I will never be in that situation of it's you one good hit and that's it. That's your brain for the rest of your
Right.
life. You're like,
And I've had
there's no
multiple
coming back from
concussions from,
that.
right, right. And like derby, you get concussions sometimes, right? I probably had,
Hmm.
I don't know how many. I won't even put a number to them, concussions. So the brain bleed was just sort of like the tip of the iceberg for my brain. So I do try to not do crazy, crazy things. And my fear level has totally ramped up, which sucks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there are things I just can't do because I feel like, I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do whatever. And there's something in my body that's like, no, you will not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Yeah.
it's tough.
Right. I
But I
mean,
have
of
found things I
course.
can do and just trying to focus on the positive and do what I can on wheels.
Yeah. And I think so I wanna guess I think and say that maybe that's why you wanted to start something like Roller Rag magazine.
Yeah, I think park skating really added a whole nother level to the community that I was involved in, right? So there's roller derby, there's all kinds of like dance skating, and then park skating and just meeting people. And I think skating has always had a community for me, from being on a team to being with a group that's going to the skate park. And I've been in publishing my whole life. I worked at the Boston Phoenix, the Boston Globe, Worcester Mag. I've just always been, I had my own arts publication for almost 10 years. So it's part of what I do. And I just started thinking about all the different stories that are out there and the way that people really want to share their story, or they want to support others, or maybe even talk about an injury and how they want to sort of teach somebody about safety. And I was like, you know what? My friends and I are just like, there is nothing out there like that. And what if I put my skills to some use, get a credit card that I can pay for my printing, and just encourage people to submit their stories or their art or their photos, because roller skating means something different to everyone. And I was really trying to think about an inclusive way to share stories that aren't just my own. So I do find people I find interesting. Like this issue is Kelsey Guy, who's a dance skater who's amazing and beautiful and has a great message. So I interviewed her, but I also want other people to tell their stories that might not relate to me, that might have nothing to do with me, which might be a different kind of skating that I'm even used to. Last issue we had a blader on the cover. I don't think I could blade to save my life, but Javi is amazing. So like being able to interview someone about that skill. Um, just Richard Humphrey's in this current issue, and he's like the father of dance skating. And I'm not a very good dance skater, but it's awesome to learn about dance skating and the history of it. So I'm just sort of putting my skills and my interest in publishing and being an editor and opening it up to people and helping them craft their stories. Like if you need help writing it, I can help edit it. If you need help with images, I can help with that. Like being able to have this platform and just be like, send me your stuff and I'll make it work and then get it out there has been a joy.
Yeah, that's.
I think one of the big things I love about reading it is that having like this diverse message from all different types of skaters, it makes you want to try those things. Like I would like to try to dance skate because like look how much joy it's bringing to this person. Like I would love to
Right.
try to like blade. I will probably break my neck, but I would love to try it. Like
Right, exactly. Right,
you
and
know,
it's opening up the world of skating, that it's not just what I'm doing right now, it's all these possibilities. And that's what's so cool about roller skating in general. There's so much you can do on wheels. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that I really like one of the very few positives that came out of COVID was like people's interest in roller skating. I think that it's kind of gotten like a resurgence of people being into roller skating, and I'm like, well, yeah, duh.
yeah. I mean, I
It's
was one of those
cool.
people that got really into roller skating during the pandemic. Like when I went to go buy skates, I couldn't buy skates. There were no skates. Everybody
Because they're
went out and
sold
bought
out.
skates.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to play roller derby. Like, why are all the skates?
But I think that your message and your view on the community of roller skating really comes through obviously in the magazine. Like it's such a beautiful magazine. Like
Oh, yeah.
I love just looking at it because it really shows all the different ways, like you said, of how people can skate. And it's like, sometimes I get very hyper focused on just derby because that's what we're in all the time. But like my roots are in artistic skating.
Ooh.
And like that was a big family thing for me growing up, was like we would go out with my dad roller skating every week. Every Thursday night was family night at our local
That is
skating
so
rink.
cool.
And like that's my childhood. Like was just skating and like learning how to skate, and like we're teaching my nephew who's now 6 like how to roller skate. And it's a real family tradition for us, which is like one of the very
That's
few
awesome.
things that we have,
And you
which
should
I
write
love.
about that. And for roller rag, you should write a
Yeah,
story
you should
about
submit
how you
that
got
to
into
roller
skating with your
rag.
family.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you
I
should.
should.
That's I don't think that's a story that I've seen in there, at least in these last couple of issues since we started reading Roller Rag. Is that like I don't think I've seen a one about.
That family tradition,
Sorry,
and
my kid is
as a
playing with a
family.
slinky in the background and it's driving me nuts. Please stop. Thank you.
That's okay. My daughter has
um,
called me 3 times while I'm on this interview. So I'm like, decline,
kids,
decline.
doing
Because
great.
she's in the other room.
Oh. See, that's what would happen if I gave him a cell phone. It was like, I would just get like little text messages, mom,
Mom.
mom, mom. But back to what I was saying is like, I don't think I've seen a story yet of somebody's like going through like their roots of like, this is what we used to go to the roller skating rink as a family. Like,
Yeah,
type
skating
deal.
was a big deal.
Yeah, I know. I used to have birthday parties at the roller rink.
Yeah. I mean, how many of us did? Like, that was a pretty
Right.
big thing.
Yeah, especially in the 90s.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, rinks started closing, which I think is such a shame. If I had millions of dollars, I would open up a rink in my area. 'Cause I got to drive like 35, 40 minutes to go skating. And not that that's too far, but it's a pain in the ass.
They definitely lost out on a lot of money because with everybody who was the resurgence of skating
Right.
and everybody wanting to learn how to skate. Like, because our local one didn't open up until like way far into like COVID, like towards the end.
That's right.
Is it the
Right.
end? I don't
The
know,
end,
but
not
like
really. Yeah,
no, but yeah.
I get it.
So what do you feel is like the most fascinating or interesting part of like what you do with the magazine? I know you might have hinted about that, but like what do you like best about doing what you're doing with the magazine?
I love sharing other people's stories. I like being a platform for other voices a lot. I think it's part of my jam right there. So every time I get a submission, I get super stoked. In this new issue, Brittany is a photographer who submitted the wet plate process photos that are just amazing. And being able to learn, like I did a quick Q&A with her, learning about how she has a mobile unit and she'll like go to the skate park or a derby bout and like take the photos and then she has to go back and the whole process, this really vintage sort of archaic process that makes the most beautiful photos. Getting that randomly
Yeah.
in my inbox was the coolest. Emily, the disabled skater who sent me her photo and some words about modifying this walker, putting wheels on it so she could skate in her driveway. Like, how cool is that? Like, I get to open up my inbox and read these amazing stories, and then I cannot wait to put them in Roller Rag and share it. It's definitely a passion project. I certainly shouldn't be doing it because it doesn't even pay for itself. But I really love doing it, and I will probably do it until, I don't know, we get foreclosed upon. I don't know. I really love doing it. So it's just that platform and the different stories that come are just so joyous. I love it.
Yeah. I did, and I think before we started recording, I had mentioned to you about the disabled skater. And, like, as soon as I saw the picture, I'm like, because I think it just brings me so much joy to see people who have physical disabilities or even some mental disabilities finding joy in skating. And, like,
Right.
because I mean, I often empathize and kind of put myself in their shoes. Like, if I had something where I couldn't move my body the way I wanted to, like, I would be so devastated to not be able to skate anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so devastated. And just to see this woman who had the tenacity to, like, figure out her own structure to help her skate. I mean, like,
Right.
that is such a great story. It's such
Right,
a
right.
beautiful story. And it was, I was like, I love this so much.
Right, and those are the stories I want to really have in the platform because, like, we have pieces in the past about how skating can help with mental health, and then we had a piece about a mental health professional giving advice about ways to skate safely for mental health. Like, really thinking about the positive aspects of it. There's a lot of crap going on in the world, and I really just want roller skating to be a safe space. And yeah, there can be some click sides of skating that's not fun. There can be some people who are a bad influence, I guess, but I want to just focus on the good and positive, and I want someone to open up Roller Rag and connect in some way to one little piece in there that makes them happy and inspires
Yeah.
them to skate more.
That's definitely something that we wanted to do for our podcast. Is we wanted to do an episode based on the mental health, the positive that comes with like just in general roller derby, but also roller skating in general. Of like
Right.
for a period of time during your day, you can just block out everything and just strap on some skates and do something and just only focus on that and like get out of the rest of the world.
Right. And skating really can be a safe spot. Just the past couple of weeks, I've been skating with my child, Texas, and Texas has these noise canceling headphones. And we went to the rink, and Texas used the headphones because I will admit the music at the rink I go to is the worst. And they were like, put on these headphones and just listen to your music. And it was such a game changer to just spend a few minutes just zoning out and just like skating however I wanted, not caring how I looked, like whatever. There's androgynous ladies just skating around the rink. I had so much fun. And it reminded me again, it's like, this is why I love skating. Like just the feeling, the fluidness, and the skill set that I've really built up over the years that I think sometimes I forget. I'm like, I look at other skaters who are amazing. I'm like, I can't do any of that shit. And then I'm like, wait, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, and I think with I had a thought, and now I've lost it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I think people tend to forget, like, especially like if you've been at something for a while, like where you were at the beginning. That like even for me, like after only 2 years, like Slice at the very beginning versus Slice now, like I have developed some skills, so it's like I love that, like that. Yeah, I can go to the rink and I'm like, oh, I can do a transition. I never thought in my life before Derby that I would be able to actually skate backwards ish.
Right.
So I can definitely move going
Right.
Yeah.
And that's no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's just
John,
another thing that makes me happy about roller rag, right? Like people telling those type of stories, and reminding you how far you've come and those positive aspects of whatever you're doing on skates and the growth and the personal growth, and being able to push yourself and, stay in shape and good for my psyche, like all that stuff. I just want to share all of that.
Yeah, and I think what I had forgotten but now remembered is that, like, for me, roller skating, and I don't know if it's because it happened to me so early in life, but it doesn't even feel like exercise to me. Like, I hate running. Don't get me to go running. I'll never do it. But like, you put skates on my feet, and I've skated 20 miles, like trail skating, and I'm like, I would have never done that. For anything else, I would have never done that. And
Right.
and it is my point of freedom. I have my earbuds in, I can just zone out, and all I have to do is just focus on staying upright. Because at the end of the day, I feel like skaters are people who love skating and are passionate about skating are a special kind of breed because we choose to put wheels on the bottom of our feet and move around through the world.
Right. Right.
That's hard for a lot of people. It is, like it's scary and it's uncomfortable, and like my husband will never put on skates again. He put them on for 5 minutes and he was like, and he fell and he's like, nope, not for me. And I'm like, okay.
skate them at one wheel. That's what Jay has. They can go racing. Little racing Derby widows. I think what I love too about your magazine is that there's a little bit of something for everybody in there. Like one of my favorite things that I like to read whenever it comes out is the Derby player that's going through fresh meat.
Right.
Like that, it's like a little bit every magazine, and it's like you're watching this person's journey.
Right.
And empathizing with it, because if you've ever been through that, you know what it is in the feels of, yay, I did a thing, and then the next practice you're crying because you can't do the thing, and then
Right.
the next practice you're completely crushing it. Like, so I love that, like, little piece that you get the continue story for that.
Right. And I welcome those pieces. I've had several people like, oh, I've got this big piece. I'm like, let's break it up, right? Because it's a nice little journey piece to, especially with roller derby, as you guys know, it's such a journey, and it's such a hard journey. Like it took me a year to learn how to skate for derby, and it took me another year to figure out how to freaking play. Right? It was like completely different. Then I started by year 3 forgetting about, am I doing this right? Am I transitioning right? Whatever, or my ins and outs of my wheels. And it was just playing, like the pure joy of playing. It takes a while to get there, but it's
Yeah.
so worth it once you do.
Yes,
It is. Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel that.
So, what are your future plans for Roller Rag? Say, aside from it paying for itself, being self-sustaining.
Which is all I want in
we're there,
life.
yeah. Like, what are your dreams for the magazine? Like, what do you see 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road?
I'm really working on right now expanding my marketing outside of social media. Social media, I think we all have a love-hate relationship with it right now, and I'm on there to post, but it's really the only sales channel I have. So I'm trying to think outside of that. I'm starting an e-newsletter, so I'm reaching out to people who have purchased in the past. I'm trying to go to more events. I'm trying to figure out if I want to go to RollerCon this year. It's just a lot of money, but I feel like it's a whole new audience that might not know about Roller Rag. So I'm really just trying to branch out and reach more people because I want more submissions and I want more eyeballs. The only way I can really break even, because I really don't make enough selling it at all, is to sell ads. So I'm working on advertising as well and reaching out on that avenue. As you guys probably know, it's like the only way I can really do this is if I get advertising sponsorships. It's a
Right.
ton of work, like on top of my full-time job, but if I could just get more eyeballs on it, that means more submissions and more readers. That's all I want. I want to not, I want my husband not to cry whenever I charge the printing bill. And I want to be able to do it and not stress about the money, which is dumb. I don't
Yeah.
want to pay myself. I just want to do it so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we feel that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, our overhead isn't what printing costs are, I'm sure, but still, it's like, and we did make the choice to go to RollerCon because, it is,
that's
it's
your
you have
audience.
to think of other ways other than
Yeah.
social media, and
Yeah, I mean, us too. We've had to think outside the social media box where now we're trying to do, we're announcing for roller derby games and
Nice.
outside of our area and trying to like do that because, yeah, and I think that is kind of the name of the game for even just teams that are trying to like get people to join. It's like
Right.
you figure out how to get outside the social media box to reach people, and then the big question is how where are people looking?
Right.
yeah, yeah. How
Oh,
are
another thing I'm doing, I've been sponsoring events, which I think is kind of fun because I get to, and by sponsoring, I'm like, I have some roller rags, or a roller rag subscription could be one of the prizes. So someone who wins could
right?
get that. And then I get maybe my logo on something. But just that's another way of me, if someone maybe is at the event, they're like, what the hell's roller rag? And they check it out. So
Right.
um, it also feels good to sponsor the events, no matter what they are, whether they're quad or inline or whatever. I'm definitely trying to get roller rag out as much as I can to as many venues as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that we are planning to do this summer is have. I would love, actually, and there should be a submission in Roller Rag talking about short track roller derby.
Ooh, yes, it should be. Someone should write that
Yeah.
and send it in.
We're actually talking. We're gonna do a short track tournament
In the
in the
summer.
summer,
Ooh,
as one of our like it's gonna be a charity event. We're calling it
Pride Cup
the Pride Cup, where each
love
team
it.
is gonna be a color.
of the rainbow.
Yeah,
Aww,
we're
I
pretty
love
excited
that.
about it. But like that, like
We need to, yeah, it's those things that we want are, because I think the thing that is sad for me personally about roller derby is the fact that as much as I love how brutal it can be, it destroys your body.
Yeah, it does.
as you
yeah,
know.
Ask
Um,
my knees.
yes,
yeah,
same. But with short track, it's much kinder on your body. There's not so much impact, and so that's why I'm really kind of like on a focused mission for short track, because I think it can bring back a lot of people that has lost to
Nice.
bodily injury, age, like they just feel like they're too old to play roller derby, because I think that a lot of people stop playing because of that.
It's like a recreational option to roller derby. Like if you want to play
Nice.
roller derby, if you love the idea of roller derby, but you don't want to be like WIFTA affiliate, or you don't want to like rank or whatever. You literally just want to play, but not completely destroy your body. Like that's like, I think that would be an amazing submission for
Yeah,
roller
someone
rag.
should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone should send it to me.
I'll send
Roller
you
Rag
stories.
Mag.
You do your story of the family, and I'll do the story of
There you go.
short track. Well, it will be a combination. It'll be a team writing experience.
Done.
It'll be me writing it and then handing it to you and going, you just like no, and like
I'll fix it.
she'll fix it.
Nice. No, I approve. Yeah, and this is my this issue is my 3rd year anniversary too, which is kind of nice. 3
That's
years.
awesome.
Yeah, you did it 3 years.
You made it
Yeah.
3 years. That's
3.
so.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's-
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you could interview anybody for the magazine, who would it be?
Oh God. Oh no. I like to know behind the scenes stuff, so I would love to talk to like the owner of Rydell, and find out about the history of their company and how they got into roller skating, making roller skates, and the progression of the sports that are all involved in that. I think I would like that. Like it would be such a cool story. And now I'm like in my head, I'm like, I have to make that happen. And especially like roller skating has kind of come up and down. And then during COVID, like we were talking about earlier, when everyone wanted to skate all of a sudden and there was no skates around, I would love to know about that. I just think that's fascinating.
Yeah, and they're pretty. They post a lot on social media right now.
They do. All
I
the
bet you
skate
can make
companies
it
have really
happen.
been doing. Yeah. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to do that.
Oh yeah, that I think that behind the scenes, the people that you don't hear about are very fascinating, because they love it just as much as the showboats out there, that are showcasing their amazing products, or
Right.
their mission. So yeah, I love that. I want that to happen for you, Belle. You got to make it happen.
Thank you. Okay.
We're putting it out into the universe and thinking really hard on it, and it's going to come true.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to say about Roller Rag or mention?
No, I just hope that people, if they're listening and they think to themselves, I might have a story or some photos, or I draw roller skates or wheels or designs or anything. Just think about sending it to me as a submission, because I really want to highlight other people's works. rollerragmag@gmail.com. My website's rollerrag.com, and all the submission guidelines are there. But I don't want anyone to think, oh, gee, I wish I could. I want them to think, I'm going to do this. No matter how refined your skill is, like I can help you. And I bet it's going to speak to one of our readers in some fashion. So please submit it and help me share your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Folks, you should totally do it. And if you haven't gotten your subscription, or even just one issue of Roller Rag, you definitely should check it out. And you can buy your subscription, your yearly subscription, on rollerrag.com. Or you can just get an issue. One issue. $10.
Yeah. And it goes right back into the magazine. It's not like I'm taking it and going shopping. I can't do that. It goes right back into the magazine. But really, it's Roller Rag also has a sale on back issues. I had some back issues left over, so they're only $8. But it includes shipping, and it includes international shipping, which I kind of regret, but it does. And I've been mailing all over Istanbul, Germany, Spain, Australia, New Zealand. Germany. I've had a lot of really great international orders too, so we're
That's
available
awesome.
everywhere.
If you want to sponsor Roller Rag magazine, you should do
I
that
would
too.
Yeah,
I
we
would
should
get down on my hands and
100% do
knees. It's a
You should
great.
sponsor both Roller Rag and Coming Hot in the Box podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you
you
should
go.
sponsor both of us.
We should have some type of pairing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are a fine pairing.
Print and audio, right there. Yeah,
Exactly. You know, ears and eyes, we got you covered.
For
exactly.
real. Yeah, we love working with you, and we really want you to succeed and keep going, because I think what you have is really special.
I agree.
Thank you.
And
Oh, and here comes
I
Kitty.
have a cat.
Okay.
And I really appreciate you guys giving me a platform to talk about roller derby. It means a lot to me to be able to, even inform one brand new person about roller rag. It's a nice opportunity, and I really appreciate the time that you guys have both taken into roller rag and me, Belle Air Bomber.
Yeah,
course.
absolutely. It's been awesome, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that this won't be the end of our interactions.
Yeah, we gotta come up and go on your ramp. in
Yeah.
your
Oh my
heart.
god.
Do.
I wanna go on a rip.
And then I have to sponsor your short track rainbow pride thing because that sounded awesome.
You should definitely even just come down for it as well. Like,
I'll come.
you should, because
Yeah, I'll
we've
totally
gotten the little bit that we've shouted out to people. We've gotten some really,
Really
amazing
positive.
feedback
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
people who are
I'm
like,
there.
"What is this? I want to do that."
Yeah.
So,
I think it's going to be a
Excellent.
good event. For
yeah.
sure.
Yay!
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for coming, or thank you for being on this the day after Christmas. I know it's like a
Yeah.
snoozy day for a lot of
Happy
people.
New Year!
Happy
Yeah,
New
Happy New Year.
Year.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.